And now, to add the final parts. And it is complete. It's complete, I've done it! Oh, too much. Too much.
Yes, my subjects, okay, no, sorry, I'm not even going to try to do that for this entire video. Hey there, folks, I am Jeff. This is Tabletop Toolbox, and this is a prototype copy of the game I'm going to tell you about today. Dicey Devices, a 1 to 4 player game, is designed by Daniel Kim, illustrated by Adine Milo, and published by Origami Whale. Dicey Devices is an interactive game where players are competing to be the last evil scientist standing. They'll accomplish this task by powering up their death ray and vaporizing, stunning their opponents. This is a multi-step process that actually begins here in the scrapyard. Each of its 6 sectors houses one of these, a device, which could perhaps be a bit dicey. The purpose of these will be evident in a moment, but you'll claim these devices by deploying robots into each sector of the scrapyard, and when activated, the player with the most robots in that sector can either buy the device or gain a piece of scrap, the only resource present in Dicey Devices. When a player gains a device, it goes into their personal laboratory, arranged into rows of exactly 12 spaces, conveniently one more than the range of values you can obtain from a rolled pair of dice. And that is no coinky-dink, because players will be rolling exactly 2 dice on their turns and choosing which of these spaces to activate, using either their combined value to activate a single section of the lab or using each die individually. Once you choose, you'll activate not just those 1 or 2 sections, but every section to their left as well. The spaces in your lab will provide extra scrap or maybe activate more of your robots. The cards themselves provide a wide variety of services like placing, removing, or otherwise manipulating robots in the scrapyard, providing new robots from your own supply, providing scrap, stealing scrap, and much more. But conveniently, they also provide the zhuzh to power up your death ray. And the best way to explain that is to show you this, the weapon board each player has above their lab. Each card has a colored background, and when you have a set of each color or a set of identically colored cards, you place a cube on this weapon board to indicate how many shots of your weapon you have available to you. Each time you place a cube on your board, you'll also draw a death ray module from this deck of cards. Each one will typically provide a method by which you can get 1 or more extra shots out of your death ray. With your death ray powered up, it's time to fire. For each cube on your weapon board, you'll get to roll 1 or more dice, which is determined by how many cubes or shots you have charged up. With a single cube, you'll roll a single d6 die, and whoever you decide to fire that shot at will also roll a die. Ties are re-rolled until one player has a winning value. If it's you, your hit lands, and your player must either remove a shield from this slot on their player board, or, if they don't have one, flip their character card in their lab to its incapacitated side. If you have 2 cubes on your weapon board, you get to roll 2 dice for each shot and choose the higher of the 2 values rolled. But if you have 3 or more shots, you get to roll the nuclear D12 die. Rolling the atom symbol on this die deals 2 unblockable hits to your chosen opponent. The good news here is that being knocked out doesn't necessarily mean, being truly knocked out. When you're incapacitated, you have 2 options. You can roll 2 dice and hope for doubles, which means your faithful assistant Igor has managed to shock you back to life, or, if that doesn't work, you could instead choose to build a heart using your personal scrap, 6 of it to be precise, in order to get yourself back into the game. Luckily for you, the only thing you can't do as long as you are incapacitated is fire your death ray. Obviously, of course, the controls are quite finicky and only you know how to work them. Beyond that, however, your minion-like robots will continue to activate your lab and fill it with new devices until you can be revived in whichever dastardly way you succeed at. In the end, you'll have to be the only living player to win at Dicey Devices. Now, I've explained to you how this game works, the general premise behind it, but I do need to make sure that I explain one truly wicked detail of this game to you, the fact that it plays exactly in reverse of how I've just explained it. Your turns start with you trying to revive yourself if you've been incapacitated, then firing your death ray if it's ready, then rolling your dice and activating your lab sections, then using those same dice values to trigger the sectors of the scrapyard, and then deploying any new robots to that scrapyard. This allows for maximum randomness and chaos in Dicey Devices, as, just for an example, you'll have to place new robots in the scrapyard before you'll even know what new cards will be added to it for the next player's turn. I found this reverse sequence of play to be pretty confusing at first and a smidge difficult to teach, but it's a lot easier if folks understand how everything works and then explain the actual sequence of play. Now, I mentioned the game being random, and that is also quite intentional, but you do still have a few tricks up your sleeve. For starters, there's your friend, Igor. As long as he's hanging out here in the lab, he lets you re-roll your dice once before activating any of your lab sections. He can also optionally be deployed into the scrapyard to help you gain majorities in a contested sector. There's also the pocket battery. This can be used to power a single section of your laboratory regardless of whether it activates with your dice rolls or not. It also overrides the resource provided by the slot, letting you choose to gain scrap or an extra robot. There's also the power bank above your player board. When you roll your dice in the lab phase, you can choose to bank one of the rolled values, placing a dormant robot in the slot of the bank of the corresponding value. On a subsequent turn, you can either add that value to one of your rolled dice, or you can even use it to flip a die to the opposite value, which you can also do when firing or defending yourself against a death ray. And lastly, when you're activating your devices in your lab, you can choose to activate them in any order you'd like in order to maximize their synergies. And the last thing you can do on every one of your turns is swap any 2 cards in your laboratory to try and get the most out of each row of cards. Now, of course, there are some little details I've left out, like rage cubes you can acquire to add a little oomph to your death ray rolls, special blueprint tiles that you can unlock when you get 3 cards of the same color in a row or column in your lab, the wild shot module, which lets you attempt to damage an opponent's laboratory, your unique prototype card, which slots into the one space in your lab and can be upgraded through multiple uses. There are augment cards, there are event cards, special cards, and even advanced cards, which can be left out of play if a less challenging game is desired. I do want to be honest here, Dicey Devices isn't a game for everyone. There's a lot of randomness here, a lot of chaos, a lot of unpredictability, and a healthy dose of take that. I've seen players power up their death ray, never pull off a successful shot, and get taken out without even getting a chance to revive themselves. It happens. Then again, I know a lot of people out there love just this variety of random chaos, and frankly, this game still has more strategy to it than titles like Thunder Road Vendetta or Mission Red Planet. On top of that, I absolutely love the production of this game, even in its current prototype form. One of my gaming friends compared it to the Jetsons, and I can't agree more. The artwork depicting a quirky scientist's lab with a Saturday morning cartoon vibe is undeniably charming. So listen, you already know if this is your kind of game or not, so if you'd like to learn more about Dicey Devices, head on over to the Kickstarter page using the link provided in this video's description. And good luck to whomever ends up in the crosshairs of your death ray. Cheers.